Okay, you're on.
All right, good morning. It's Monday, November 8th, the Tufton Borough Board of Selectmen's meeting. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Do we have any public input?
I have none. Well,
Are
let
you
somebody know
are
what
you
I'm
here?
Yes,
Oh, sorry.
I have one question. I'm still dealing with the Lions property over on Sodom Road.
Yeah.
The driveway is full of stuff.
Right.
I was wondering if I could get permission to put the stuff out of the driveway into a shed that's there. There's a bunch of firewood, you know, like 2 or 3 truckloads, small truckloads of firewood, a bunch of junk, before snow flies, is what I'm thinking. I didn't think the process was gonna take as long as it has as far as what's going on with the Conservation Commission.
It's gonna take a lot longer too.
Yeah.
We're looking at, excuse me, a closing in January maybe, or February,
Yeah.
so there might be some snow on the ground by then.
Well, that's what I'm figuring. And I'm figuring I might get a hold of the place right in the middle of the winter, you know? And then I gotta go deal with it, you know?
So their intention is to sell it to you?
That's what we've been trying to do, yeah.
Okay, because we've made a deal with, I don't know, who's his neighbor's name?
Love it.
Love it.
Yeah.
There's some transactions going on for that.
Yes, I know all about those.
Okay.
They don't wanna own the property.
All right, and she's gonna get it back, because the taxes are all gonna be paid.
Right, and that's what I'm waiting for, if she gets it
I
back.
just didn't want you doing stuff and finding out.
No, I know the stipulations that they put on the piece of, two or three different pieces of property and
Yeah.
stuff that they're dealing with and stuff and everything.
Yeah, I just didn't want you to put a lot of effort into something and then not have it come together.
Right.
Well, I have put some effort into it, and I figured it would be done by now or something, you know, but I realize getting lawyers and stuff and
Yeah.
it
Right,
ain't
It's not,
as easy.
it's not the town that's holding it up.
No,
Okay?
I
It's a
know.
third party
And I think they're waiting to survey it. or
So, and that's
something.
done, the survey, the field work on the survey is supposed to start this week.
Yeah,
Okay, so once that's done, we gotta do a subdivision and run that through the planning board, and then we're good to close.
yeah.
So you wanna specifically do what with?
Just clean the driveway up. There's a big open shed, you know, like a wood shed,
Mhm.
and I'm just gonna put the wood in there, because that's probably where it was gonna go to begin with, but there's a bunch of other trash. and
The big open shed you're talking about is on the right-hand side of the
Yeah,
driveway.
well, all the sheds are on the right-hand side.
Well, there's one out back. if you
Right.
go Straight where
No.
she kept the cat. Yeah, you're talking about Sandy's carport.
Well, it's
Kind
just, it's just logs with,
Yes.
you know, with a
Sandy-
roof on.
Yeah,
you know.
Sandy put a carport.
Brian's intent on increasing the viability and worth of our asset at
Yeah.
no cost to us. So
I make a motion that we accept Brian's request to clean the property up.
I'll second that.
The only thing that I would say is, any of the stuff that's there all belongs to the property.
Right,
okay?
right.
And if it's not attached, which a lot of the stuff is, it's actually the Vicky's property.
Right.
Okay, so if you wanna just move stuff around, that's fine. If you wanna remove anything from
No,
the property.
I'm gonna go talk to her. I figured I'd come talk to you guys
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go check with her and make sure, you know,
So
Everything's okay with
I was,
her.
from my standpoint, you wanna move stuff around, that's fine.
I'm not taking nothing.
But
no.
it all needs to
I
remain
don't want
there.
any of it.
Yeah, on the property. Okay, any further?
Now, has she made any effort to try to get anything out of the house? I know when you first closed on her, you gave her like 30 days
Yeah, Jack was dealing with that.
So,
to go through and get rid of stuff, but I was gonna ask her about that too. If she's put any thought into.
Jack,
to get in the house, you know.
I think the chief took the firearms out.
The stuff in the house
Yeah.
up on Sodom Road, has she removed any of that?
Not that I know of.
No, kids, thing.
But she's still
I
has.
was only there
opportunity.
once with the tenant, he went in and got a couple of pairs of CDs that were his and some clothes, that was it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that young guy, the
Yeah.
Levitt or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But she has the opportunity to get it out pretty much any time. She just has to
Yeah.
coordinate with Jack.
Yeah, the guns are actually, the police took them.
right, right, I knew they cleaned the safe out, yeah, good.
Yep.
But,
So when you're talking to her, you probably want to talk about the water too, because did we drain that?
oh yeah,
All
no,
the
that's,
winterized.
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's all
It
winterized.
was winterized, and I remember she had bought a new boiler.
New
and it
furnace
was-
that's sitting in the
It
driveway.
was sitting
wrapped
outside
in
the
top.
driveway.
Right.
It's still been for 2 years,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
that's what I was gonna stuff that in that shed too. Yeah,
okay, any further
Well done.
discussion on the motion?
None?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
okay,
you have our permission.
thank you,
You're welcome.
appreciate it. I didn't expect it, to be honest with you. I figured there'd be some legal technicality or
Well, and there are, and
and
that's.
insurance, you know. of,
That's
you know.
why you need to come talk to us, and it's just,
Okay,
so, thank you.
that's all, no problem.
All right,
Thank you.
Good day, Wyatt.
any other public input? All right, let's move on to review and approval of minutes. First are the work session minutes from Friday, October 29th.
Pretty straightforward. I make a motion, we accept those minutes as written.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and then we have non-public minutes from that day as well.
I'll make a motion, we approve those.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And those will remain
And then
sealed.
they will remain sealed. Yep. Meeting minutes from last Monday, November 1st. I didn't see any additions or corrections.
Seemed fine to me. I make a motion, we accept those minutes of Monday, November 1st as written.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we have 2 sets of non-public minutes.
Should be 3.
3 sets of non-public minutes, thank you. First is at the 10:30 meeting, 10:30 non-public.
I'll make a motion, we accept those.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And then 11:10.
I'll make a motion, we accept those minutes.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And third, the 11:20 non-public minutes.
I'll make a motion, we accept those as well.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, let's move on to Mr. Jim
Highway.
Beam. Highways.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Peachy. Thank you.
I'm in my
It's okay, you can give it to me.
Apparently I was Okay, well, since the last time we met, we had a windstorm that required several days of cleanup with multiple trees down across town. And we're still dealing with the beavers in multiple places, you know, this is the time of the year that they come out. They really try to protect their territory. And we also had a 3-inch rainstorm that caused damage in several places around town. I don't know if any of you guys got a chance to see Dame Road. The water actually came over the top of the road on that one. Filled the field right next door.
Yeah.
Filled that field.
Yeah.
It's the first time that's happened in a long time, you know, since the culvert has been replaced. And then we prepared 3 areas in town for paving repairs, and which all 3 have been done. One of them was 59 Dane Road.
So that issue's.
That was an apron, right?
Correct.
Yep.
And he was happy about that. He was
Okay.
there for it and was
Excellent.
very happy, and I think it worked out well.
Thank you.
And the entrance to Chase Point Road, it all broke up on the inner corner on the right side as you're entering. So we cut some of that out, prepared it, removed some of the rocks that were popping up through, and we had that paved. And the third one was two-pack lane edge that the plow had damaged last year. We just caught it and ripped up probably 100+ feet of it. You know, the funny part is you don't even notice it really when you're in the town truck, you're plowing along, so it's like, man, it's slowing down a little bit. And then you come back out through and you're like, whoa, look at all that pavement. You don't even notice it when you're plowing.
Yeah.
But it caught an edge of it and it ripped up probably 18 inches of it. I think we saw that this year, we mentioned it in our drive around.
Mhm.
So that was repaved, and we're actually working on the gravel edge today, making sure the edge is built up enough that it doesn't happen again. And then last, we've been working on the dump body of the town truck, which also serves as a combo sander body. We're repairing it again. The rust holes, were cut out and patches were welded in. We're just trying to make it through this year. We're hoping to get another season out of it. But it's mostly inside the body that you don't see that we're working on. We also repaired a crack in the dump body frame itself that cracked in a bad spot.
Mhm.
So we think we've got it in pretty good shape. We've taken it out, we filled it with sand, we tested it, it does sand. So it is working. Hoping to get another season out of it.
And how old was that body when we bought the truck?
We don't know. We don't know how old it was. It was used, but it looked fairly solid at the time, and we got it for free. It was a free
Right.
ride. We didn't pay
Right.
for it. It looked okay,
Yeah.
but they painted it, so we don't know what they hid exactly, but it was painted,
Mhm.
and we've had it for quite a while. But I'm guessing the thing might have been 8 years old probably when we got it. So, now it's 15 years old and it's very, very paper thin.
Mhm.
Small discrepancy, but you'll find out when the sign comes in, you'll be reminded again that two-peck is spelled with a C.
Oh, no, I am aware of it. It is in, we have it.
Oh, cool.
We have it, I'll have the guys put it up today.
Sure. That's
But
not,
I think I found out the culprit to that.
really.
When I text it, for some reason my phone changes it without a C. Because I said, oh, it was spelled wrong. I said, it's spelled this way, and I went to send it, and it changed it again. I didn't notice it the first time. I noticed it the second time when it changed it. I don't know why my phone doesn't like the
Technology.
C, but
Yeah.
Smarter than we are, I think so.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the reason you mentioned this is misspelled here in your report today.
Yes.
Oh, really? I spelled it correctly, my wife did.
Oh, that's the butt. You're in trouble now. She watches this.
Well, she's used to the way it was misspelled,
Right.
right?
Oh, I don't know.
I guess, yeah, anyway,
No, because I've seen her type it before and she spelled it correctly, so I'm not
Okay.
sure what happened there.
all right.
Okay.
All right, so things for next year. I know you had mentioned, we're gonna be working on building budgets today, right? You have a quote for insulation of the ceiling in the garage.
Correct. Because the people that came to look at the heating system all looked upstairs and said it made sense to add more insulation to that. It would certainly
Right.
save the money back in no time.
Right. So,
Gentlemen, I'm having an emergency. You go on without me, please.
and that was for, do you remember how much it was?
Off the top of my head, I want to say it was 4,500.
So, probably good to get that quote updated if we're gonna do it.
Oh, I think I did have it updated. I
Okay.
apologize. I didn't have it sent to you. I thought I did, but
Okay.
we might not have got it to you, but I did have it updated.
So highway building maintenance, is that what they're calling that?
Yes, right.
So what is, you're thinking $4,500?
Correct. They're gonna blow insulation in the attic.
Okay. So do we want to put that in the operating budget, or do we want to make that warrant? I think we go, this budget that we've been given is wrong
Yeah,
by $150,000, $140,000. Because that central fire department improvement is 15,600, not 156,000.
right. Right,
So
yeah,
that's just an aside.
Okay.
right, yeah, so, well, that's an easy fix.
So 140,400. If we bring the total down to, 308 by the looks of it. So it's
Yep.
within $2,000 of where it was last year, which is a lot nicer.
So that's with or without the insulation?
That's without the insulation.
Yeah,
But we've also got, well, Jack hasn't come in on this government building, so we really haven't talked about how we can squeeze it.
mm-hmm,
I mean, I guess, I'll be back in a second, but I mean, we put improvements in other budgets in this general
No.
government. I'm thinking that the insulation.
Wasn't for your wall set up.
improvement,
yeah,
So it seemed like a place to put it.
thank you.
Bye.
Updated.
Hey,
Come.
while you're at it,
Would you like an expenditure report?
while you're at it, it should be 15,600, not 156,000.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. And that's on the building. Okay.
Yeah,
Did you need Kathy too? I just overheard it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So this, the
She just showed me.
central fire department budget's.
Yep, 56,
Yeah,
750.
yep.
Okay.
thanks.
So, I'm thinking the $10,000 heating system ought to be on an article as opposed to in the budget, but maybe a $4,500 insulation could go in the budget.
Unless you wanted to combine them together.
So that's the townhouse, well, we can't combine the townhouse and the garage.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you mean combine them in a warrant article?
Yeah.
Well, because I didn't know if you were talking about the heating system for that place, but I guess you know. Okay.
No. So do you have a heating system in for this year? I know you have a project for heating system, but I don't know where you were asking for it.
So I said, basically, I think I said it'd be great to have, but it's still working at the moment, is how I
Right.
put it. So wherever it fit into the
Yeah,
budget is what we asked for.
it's working, it's just way inefficient,
Correct.
right? Yeah,
But he's buying a dump truck this year, right?
Correct.
yeah, so probably not, yeah.
It's one or the other.
Yeah,
You're either comfortable with one place or another.
yeah,
Yeah, I would say the truck.
Yeah, I'd be okay with the $10,000 warrant article for heat. and
Sure.
Yeah,
I think that, pull that out and put the insulation in.
now you've changed to $5,500.
Yeah,
It's lower, so now
Yeah.
you're down below,
yeah,
yeah, down to 135. 136.
yep.
Okay. That's good. Should we let Guy in on this?
Yeah, yeah,
Our
Yeah.
machinations?
yeah. So,
So while we've got you here, 225 for a 10-wheel dump? Is that the
I
number?
believe it was 235 is the number that it was scheduled.
Going the wrong way, buddy.
Yeah. It's not getting better, that's for sure.
So have we shopped? We need to shop. It's a big purchase.
So we can certainly do that, and the quote that I have is a little bit of a guess, you know, of where things are gonna be by the time, you know, this passes and we're actually getting serious. Just because things have actually, you know, been erratic on being able to get stuff. He thought that was a pretty safe number, though. He said that was, you know,
So
It's a safe number.
when we need a firmer number is January when we're putting the warrant together.
Right.
We can use 235 as a placeholder right now, but certainly before we sign the warrant, we want as close to what the actual cost is gonna be as we can.
okay.
And on a purchase like this, we certainly want more than one.
Right, no fewer than 3 bids.
Okay,
There's gotta be 3 big truck dealers out there that want some dump trucks.
yep. ATG has bought out a few of the companies around now, so they own the bulk of it now.
Yep. Well, so
We went to Ohio and got a cruise.
Yeah, we can, you know, when we're ready to actually bid this thing, we'll put a notice out advertising it. And that's not to say that having you contact people
Thank you.
for the pricing doesn't make sense, shouldn't happen, it should, but just to give any and all
Correct.
potential bidders an opportunity for something like this, we want to.
Right, and I don't see a significant change between December and June in truck pricing.
So the way that he put it to me was, they're actually trying to make the deal now as far as getting the trucks built and with sander bodies and plows all installed, because I think that's the hard part, is the sander bodies and plows. They're working with multiple companies now, even out of New England. They're like, this is just where we are now. It used to all go through Vermont. And he's like, now it's just tough. And so the
Well, and you might be able to, you know, get yourself into the state bid too. I mean, the state's gotta be buying some trucks.
So I looked into that already. They do international, which is, I don't know if they actually have corrected their problem with that I-force motor that they had
I
troubles
was
with.
actually gonna say the state corrected their problem by buying internationals in the first place.
That would be, you know, yeah. We know that internationals had problems for many years, and you couldn't trade that thing in if your life depended, nobody would take it, it was just terrible. They had a lot of problems. Maybe they've corrected it, I don't know, something to look into. But what I did find out was they build their own bodies and do their own plow system. They don't, and we can't probably get in on that part.
Yeah.
The state does,
Yeah, that's what I found out.
yeah.
Because I said, well, I needed specs, and I told him what I wanted for specs, you know, with the dump body combo, and he said, well, we can't help you there. We can get you just the cab and chest.
And how is the state specs on sanders and plows different from what you're?
So we do a sander dump body combo, and they don't.
Okay,
Yeah,
so there's winter use only and then summer use part.
well,
They have sliding.
yeah, they have
Oh,
drop-in
sliding,
units, yeah, in the
Which,
sheds.
you know, work in most cases, but we like to dump the sand in front of the rear tires, so we had traction. And also, it helps immensely in an ice storm, even going down a hill. If you creep along real slow and you put out sand, at least you have rear brakes, the front might slide around a little bit, but you can keep it in control for the most
It's
part.
the wild ride, doesn't it?
It has been, I've had times where the front end has slid off the road and you just get into your plow and hope, depending on which side of the road it goes to, and trying to ride the snowbanking down. Yeah. You can't control the front when it's square ice like that, it's impossible.
All right, so we'll talk about that in January. Is there anything else you're looking for Warrant?
I don't know if where we were looking for something else, but I don't know if that's gonna be this year or next year, but we talked about the paving on the parking lot for the town garage.
It was listed in CIP as 2022,
Okay,
How much were we talking about?
28,000.
28,000.
that's, I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at it, but it's pretty well broken up. The drainage doesn't work really anymore.
And-
Water pitches right at the building,
And
freezes
none
up.
of that's gonna get adjusted when the tower goes in? I mean, I hate to pave the thing and all of a sudden have them come in with cranes and all the rest
So-
of the shit.
No problem, I can do it tomorrow.
I don't think it will.
Well, and we know they're gonna do some underground work, all right?
Right.
So at the very least, you don't pave until after they get done with all that,
But we're only talking the lower half. That price didn't include the upper half where
Okay.
they're gonna be working.
all right?
That was just the lower
You only
section.
have one entrance.
Correct,
I mean,
but it ends just about as you pull in and go up towards the shed. It's gonna end right in there. And that's where our problem all stems, is that lower part.
Where the water drains down toward the
It
building.
goes towards the building, not to the
Freezes.
drain anymore. And then the door freezes up and we can't get in.
And you can't lift the building.
I wish we could. I mean, that would be great. Then put a heated floor in would be ideal too. But, you know, now we're just talking about so much work that
Yeah.
it's past talking about at this point.
Okay. I don't know that, where are we on our paving budget, Mr. Road Agent? How much money are we spending?
I didn't bring that information, I don't think, but you know what, I didn't bring my whole notebook with that information. I know it's something here, it's in my three-ring binder.
Roughly, I'm getting 100,000 for local paving, or is it 125?
It was 100 we
It was
approved.
100 for neighborhood paving, and
CIP has it listed at 400 for
400 for,
the general.
yeah, road rebuild.
We're talking 50 grand to do the parking lot up there? 45?
For the town garage,
Yeah.
28 's what they had
Oh,
listed, yeah.
28.
Yep,
that kind of redoes all the drainage as well.
yep.
Basically removing all the pavement and starting over.
All right.
And fixing the base.
Correct, that's the whole problem, is the base.
Yeah, and not slope it for the water to run into the garage, right?
I have to assume that it didn't start off that way.
No, I'm sure it did.
But now it does.
Yeah.
It somehow goes right towards your front walk-in door.
Yeah,
It ponds right there, and
There's no way to dig it up with a French drain.
and we talked about putting a trench drain across the front, and I remember Jack saying there's some sort of environmental issue with doing that.
Do you
Yeah,
have a
'cause
floor
we're not-
drain?
we had to seal them
Yeah,
off.
so I don't
They're
know.
illegal.
Well, so we could do a floor drain, but it'd have to be like at the central fire station with a holding tank.
They have
I don't know,
something-
I'm saying if you don't have a floor drain, what's the environmental impact of putting on?
Well, because we have to sweep the water out the front door when it melts every night.
That's where it's going anyway. Or is he just letting it pond up inside?
No, we have to sweep, we have squeegees.
Okay, so
and we
it
squeeze
goes
it
out.
All right, so what you're doing is you're
Doesn't
taking
disappear.
contaminated water and you're moving it someplace else, and that's what creates the issue.
I mean, I'm all for doing that trench
Yeah.
drain, I think it'd be a big help. but-
Right. I remember several years ago when we had the discussion with Jack, he said, hey, can't do that because of the environmental thing. So
I think if you were to have some kind
if
of
we had a
leak on
holding,
truck or whatever. it'd
if
be
we had a
up
holding
there.
system to collect and hold it, then
Yeah, or put it back to where I sweep it that way.
yeah.
It's going out of the building.
Then
It is
we,
currently,
yeah.
but the drains have all been sealed off, they don't exist.
Yeah, but I mean, water, whatever's happening inside the building is leaving the
We're
building.
pushing it outside.
And
Correct,
just-
but if we had, I guess, say, the system had a fuel leak or one of the vehicles or something like that, well, then at that point, we'd come and we'd see it and we'd have to do, mitigation to clean that up. We'd probably call the fire department at that time and we'd get it corrected before pushing it out the door,
Yep.
I think that's where we're different. That's the difference.
So it's a problem that isn't gonna go away, but isn't gonna have a solution.
So, and part of it, I think, it may be what's there as opposed, if you do an improvement, now you have to make sure it complies with what's there, doesn't necessarily, has been there for a long time. So, we can have a conversation about that, but I don't think we're gonna solve it at this meeting today. So,
And we're
maybe we can,
definitely not gonna solve it with a warrant.
right, and,
So we can talk about the parking lot pavement part of his
yep,
desires in January, I think.
yep.
Because we need to dissect this a little more before we get to that. And
Yep.
you're not getting heat, buddy. Just
We have heat,
Yeah,
just not efficient.
so the overlay that you were gonna do, the shim coat up on Canaan, any word on if it's gonna be in the schedule with them or not?
I hadn't heard, but he said if it did happen, it wouldn't be, he was booking out to the middle of November already at the time that I requested it.
Mm-hmm.
So we put the request in.
close.
Yeah, so it would be a week away, I guess. I could call
Yeah.
and see if that is happening or what their thoughts are. I don't know what will happen next week with the weather, but
This week's supposed to be.
I know.
perfect.
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
that's great. Maybe they're keeping up with their,
and next
Schedule.
week, what I can see, next week doesn't look bad, a little cooler, but not,
No snow.
yeah, right, no winter weather. And,
That's the other thing that if we're gonna, we've never had an issue getting a pavement warrant article passed, ever, in my whole long life here in Tunboro. So you should start looking for that neighborhood paving company and start making inquiries about who's gonna do that, because it's not gonna be the same guy. I don't think you're gonna get as good a price or even availability out of Carroll.
okay,
You know what I'm saying?
we can certainly do that. I didn't know if it made sense to combine them together to see if we, because a lot of it's about tonnage.
But I think you need to look at both angles.
Okay, yep, I'm good with that, we could certainly do that. I know before, when I talked to Frank about, how our plan that we had drawn up didn't work, because it was all over the place and jumping around and stuff. And he said, well, you get your best price is when they can lay down 100 ton a day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, you got pricing from him on all of this stuff, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So, on the neighborhood stuff, somebody else to give you a price and we'll see what
Put an ad in the paper, or whatever you do.
Well, if you think about it, if you're working on Federal Corner Road, it's not that big a deal to move over to two-pack lane, which makes it more efficient for Carol to do it if he was going to do it.
They could probably drive it
If you
right down there without
keep it-
putting on a trailer.
If you can keep it close,
Bring
that's all.
the equipment in there, well.
That's what I'm talking about. It's much easier to do that when you're right next door. So,
Yeah, because they could drive all the equipment.
Right.
They could start at the bottom of Federal Corners, drive up, and then turn and drive
Shoot
up
right
and start
across.
again.
yeah, so that might be something to throw at him too.
Maybe we'll get a little better price that way.
Think about that and, explore all the angles, but they're there. There's no doubt that there's a way to do something.
Yep, I'm sure we can get a little better price.
Okay. Do we have anything else for Jim for today?
I don't.
Did we pick out a neighborhood paving project exactly? I don't know if we really, we proposed.
I thought, yeah.
We have
I thought-
always said,
Yeah,
Okay, all right. And maybe that might play a little bit of it, I guess, if we're right there.
Right.
It gets done cheaper at that time, maybe that might be part of it. Okay. Very good.
all right.
Thank you.
Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Dennis, how are you? Good, how are you? Doing well, thanks.
Thanks, Jim.
Take care.
Come on down, Dennis. How are you?
Good, how you guys doing?
So far, so good.
Just want to let you know that I canceled my delivery today to be with you gentlemen.
You did?
Yeah, so I just got that going.
So you'll have the baby tomorrow?
Will we have a delivery tomorrow?
No, the baby. You canceled your delivery.
Well, it all depends on contractions.
Okay. So contractually,
Had my booster Friday, boy, and I had another reaction.
Yeah?
It's the second time, man.
Wow.
Chills, sweats, fever. But I'm back here. I'm ready to go.
Good.
Look, I got a short report today, but I do want to go over a couple things.
All right.
I do have a report from the Revolving Fund, which I'm going to start getting. Thank you for that advice last time. That was, I think, your comment.
What did I say?
Just take credit, all right? A copy here of the Lake Coast final report, if you want that. That's all the different stuff we did. But
Yep.
Okay, CPR, we ended up having 7. The cornhole finals were last week. We rewarded 4 teams, 2 divisions. They had a really good time with that. I gotta tell you, I'm so excited about this, the kids up here. We're up to 32 kids now in dodgeball every Thursday night. If you got time, come on down. It's, they're having a ball. We go 6 to 8, but we get over about 20 past 7, and then we have parent kids. And now, I think last week we had 15 parents going against the kids, so they're having a ball with that, which a lot of comments have come out of it, I think, too. And the one thing that's excited me about, and it's not finalized yet, is to get that gym Tuesday night, Thursday night, and Saturday mornings. Saturday morning would be a paid janitor, $150 for 3 hours. But since I've been here, the basketball program is scattered all over the place here. There's nothing concrete. This guy got a traveling team, and basically I want to come in with Saturday morning, kindergarten to grade 2, hour and a half. The next hour and a half would be grades 3 and 4. On Tuesday night would be 5th and 6th practice, and then Thursday night, 5th and 6th games. We got a commission meeting tomorrow. I'm not sure if Brandon contacted you, 4 o'clock.
he didn't, that's gonna be tight for me.
Okay.
He may have contacted me this morning, but I haven't seen it yet, but I'll try.
But I'm just, the kids are hungry for activities, and they've been, you know, locked down for a year and a half, 2 years, so I think this program will go. I'm gonna ask each commissioner to go out and get 2 sponsors each at $125 a person. That would pay for the, you know, Pine Cone Restaurant, number on the back. That would pay for the shirts and help pay for some of the janitors. It's only going 8 weeks, but I think it's something that, you know, it's like, well, what's his name, Marty, the girls coach up at Kingswood. And I was telling him, I said, you know, in grade 5, there's 200 girls playing basketball, and now it comes to be a pyramid. By the time they get to be a freshman, there's 20 girls playing. He don't even have enough for a JV team up there. He's only got 10 girls. So something's missing here, and I think this thing is really gonna help out. The school's been great. The janitors, one of the girls will do it every other week, but we're having a hard time filling the other 2 weeks. And they're working on that, so I just think it'll be a nice program. And like I say, in January, we're looking to start that. Spoke with Jen today, the clerk. She graciously volunteered her husband to be Pictures with Santa. We're gonna do that at the Townhouse. We don't have a date yet on that.
It's a little thin to be Santa.
Huh?
Yeah,
It's a little thin.
to be Santa,
Well,
yeah.
beef him up a little bit. Is he thin?
Yeah.
Who are you thinking of? Fire chief? Take that off
You
there. I mean, if you got time to grow a little more. Well, I mean, I'm not talking belly, I'm talking the beard.
Go to the fire chief.
So that's going to be a program probably mid-December. What else? Just down the road, things we'd like to do, whether it be springtime or towards next year. One of the things that was pretty successful, I ran in Massachusetts. It was called Woodstock, and I like to run one up here called Bark in the Park. I've talked to a couple of people that want to be on the committee. It's funny how it started. I met a lady at a Celtic game, and she volunteered at Buddy Dog, and one thing led to another. And they started the first year when we put it together, they had about 20 vendors. Anything you can think of about a dog, whether it's photography or whatever, training, dog food. After the 7th year, there were over 100 vendors, you know, food trucks, bands, and they're of course non-profit, but I was thinking it would be like a two-way split. We'd make money and maybe donate to the, you know, the rescue league or something like that. But that's something I think, this seems like it's a big dog area, and I think it would go. Even if we started small with 25 vendors, and it would either be at Davis or, you know, next to the fire station, one of those things. But that's something we're looking to do. Another program we did down at the Elks when I ran in Hudson was psychic fair. I've been in touch with a couple psychics, and we do that at the Townhouse. What's the matter?
I'm choking on something. I'm sorry.
What's the matter?
I'm just swallowed the wrong way. Sorry.
Are you reading my mind?
No. I swallowed the wrong way.
And it was pretty successful. I think we had probably 9 psychics, and there were people lined up to hear the future. So I think that's one item we're going to look at too. But again, we're still working on grants. We got 4 more grants to write, and we're going to discuss that at the meeting tomorrow. So that's basically it. I got that's all I got. I wish I had more for you, but I'm part-time, so.
Well, I see your Hawaiian war canoe guy.
Who was it?
The Hawaiian war canoe guy.
Pascal?
Got it?
He's French.
He
He's French.
so he got it out of there though. It's gone, right?
Everything's gone, tires are gone, everything, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So, thank you for that. And I'm sorry it didn't work out the way.
Well, it was a new program, and I think people tried it, probably didn't like it, and it originally had a whole group, and then they just started doing one off. So,
Yeah.
Again, I want to stay in touch with him because if this, kiddie sailing program starts, he might be the guy that teaches.
So we talked before about the sailing program.
Yep. You're
And-
talking to the one that
and the boat museum is interested in the keel boat
right.
thing again. The instructors, I guess, are Wolfboro Parks and Rec.
Mm-hmm.
But, and he asked me about the small boats sailing program.
Yeah.
That you would have to find your own instructors for.
Correct.
So is that something you're still interested in pursuing?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
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 So do you have money in your budget to pay instructors?
No, I brought that up at the budget thing with a question mark, because it was still, nothing certain yet,
Right.
I mean, that's something we can look at if the instructor comes through and the boats come through, And it could be I don't think it'd be a big item, even if you just did it, twice a week or something like that. It'd be something doing for 8 weeks or something. But I know Wolfboro's sold out when they run it,
Mm-hmm.
so. That's it. You laugh about the psychic man, huh?
I told you I swallowed the wrong way. I was choking, I wasn't laughing.
The what?
I was choking, not laughing. I swallowed the wrong way.
Good excuse.
Now,
So you would like for us to pursue the lease agreement with the town of Wolfboro for that,
Yeah.
for that keel boat?
Yep.
I was gonna get back to that, you just stole my thunder again.
Oh.
I was gonna say, so you want us to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So if we're gonna do a small boat sailing program, you'd have to get a number together on what the instructor's gonna cost
Right.
prior to December 1st,
Oh,
okay?
would that be another warrant?
No.
No, part of your budget.
We'd have to readjust your budget.
Okay, all right, so that, yeah. So by December 1st?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
And bring that number to us first, obviously. And then we'll plug it in.
Yeah.
And you know, you have no idea how much it is, so you don't know whether or not,
I don't know anything.
if we can accommodate it for in the budget, that it could be something that you could work out of your revolving fund.
Okay.
Right. So you said you did get a statement on the revolving fund?
Yeah, I had asked because of the mix-up where, you know, I didn't see it,
Right.
and yeah, he did, so I'm gonna ask him for that, like you say, monthly,
All right.
and give a report to the
So,
commission too.
so what does it look like? He's not gonna share it with us, he's just gonna tell
They
us.
hide the ball. He
Yeah,
said-
really.
I'm not hiding anything, no. Hey, you can read these better than me. They're used to it.
All right. So, all right. Total for attached is 821. So, all right. Total revenues in the Parks and Rec Fund for this year is 5284.
That's a balance now.
And total expense is $4765, so you got $518 in there. It's like,
That's it.
yep. So, and Jack's note down here says, historically, anything that's given to him, he pays out of the revolving fund.
Mhm.
You give him the invoice. Any event where you have revenue, the expense should come from the revolving account and not from the town budget.
Mhm.
Makes sense, right? That's what this whole thing is for. So, if for instance, we talk about small boat sailing, if that's something you charge for and you collect money and we have the revenue and that offsets the expense, then it doesn't have to
Go through the budget.
go through the budget.
Right.
But if we're uncertain about where that's gonna go, then it makes sense to put some money in the budget so that we don't get there and say, well, we'd like to do it, but there isn't any money to do it this year.
Right.
So you're not gonna know for sure what it is between now and the end of the month, but you ought to be able to come up with a reasonable guesstimate of how much it, you know, it costs
And
for.
if you do charge and there's that flow through of money, then that money that's in the general budget that we're talking about here just sits there.
Right,
Is what?
just sits there,
Just
you don't
sits
use
there.
it,
You
right,
don't have to use it.
Right.
yep,
Good.
thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.
Great, thanks.
Enjoy the nice day. I'll do my best to get there tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm working in Freedom and I don't get out till 3:30, so I might be a little late to get
Okay.
here by 4, but I should be here by quarter after.
Okay.
So,
All right, thanks.
we'll see.
So next
thank
month,
you.
I'll schedule a little earlier.
Yeah, I'm making it noon. I'll take the day off.
Yeah. All right,
Good.
let's go to the signature file. And we have Lakes Region Computer Statement of Work. Conjunction with the Master Service Provider Agreement. You can fill us in a little bit on this, right, Cammie?
Again, in your file, I gave you a,
This thing.
yep. So, This here, this is what we are paying, what we paid, sorry, this is what we paid this year. These are the things that need to be updated, and he suggests not paying all at once, but paying monthly.
Mhm.
But the gross total monthly is 2380.
Right there, yes. I can't see it, yes, 2380.
And the,
No, that's the total, so
that's the
7,
total.
644.90, is that what that says?
What, down here?
Yes,
So the annual cost is $28,568.
yes, I'm sorry,
Yeah, this is just a breakdown.
yep,
Okay. So the monthly cost is $2,380.
Yes.
Where does this go? Is on the, or does it get plugged into each individual budget?
I think it goes in the, where that should go? Someplace. Does it go in the financial administration budget? Do you know, Candy?
I am looking,
Equipment lease and services were $6,100, but computer software lease and supports $29,300 is what we had last year.
Yeah.
And we spent $31,000 this year. Computer IT support, we had 20, so a total of $49,000 for computers, and we spent 49,000. Yeah, I guess it goes into financial administration.
Mhm.
Have we done that, but we've done that budget, have we
No,
not?
no, it's still hanging out there. So this contract statement of work updates us to the new figure that he,
Right.
put in there. So I'll entertain a motion for, it looks like, one signature.
yes,
I'll move that the chairman sign the IT agreement.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Money.
All right. And then we have a request for distribution from the SCBA Capital Reserve Fund. For $248,000, but I don't think there was that much in the capital reserve. I thought part of it was current expense.
It says here $219,470 to be withdrawn from a previously established SCBA capital reserve.
But if you add.
That number changed.
Yeah, you add in the amount raised this year, you're at 248,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we put that money in this year, or was that to come from
We
current?
put 28,530 in this year.
Okay,
Yes.
all right,
219 was in the
all right. So then
trust fund.
it's all there. So anyway, this is a
Is that a single signature?
signal signature.
I'll make a motion that the chair sign that authorization.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, done with 6. All right, now let's go to budget work. Got 2 budgets here today. Maybe we can get them knocked out and be that much closer to done. By the way, by my tally through Monday, through Friday, we had done 77.8% dollar-wise of the budget based on this year's appropriation, and the total is up 5.2%. So, outstanding budgets include financial administration, personal administration, government buildings, and docks and bridges. And we have 2 of those to deal with today. But before we get to that, it was brought to my attention on planning and zoning, I calculated the wrong number for administrative assistant because I used the wrong step level. So I think what we did was 14,133, and if we used the correct step, it would be 13,853. Do we want to change that, or do we want to just let it ride?
So it's $1,000.
We
We shortened the hours, if I remember.
Right,
So
right.
maybe we should just let it ride.
I think letting it ride for that small amount when
All right.
everything gives you a little margin if you
Yep,
need it.
yep, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm
Good.
I'm good with that. I just
Thank you.
brought to my attention, I didn't want to just say,
Sure.
go, and then have you guys say, well, why did we end up there? All right, so let's do the easy one first, docks and bridges. Oh, no, I take that back. I would like Jack's input on that, and he's
Not here.
not here at the moment. I mean, we could go forward with what we had this year, but I know we overspent the line, and I don't remember exactly what it was. Maybe we could get a detail on what we spent this year that would help on docks and bridges. If you could call them and
Sure.
have them run a detail on that line.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's go and work on the other budget one there.
Warrant.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll do this budget first, and then we'll go to the warrant. Okay. So we weren't all at the table while we were talking about this earlier, but let me try and recap. The first copy you got today was $100,000. It's still wrong. So it was $156,000, and it was supposed to be $15,600. So she revised it, and it's 56. But it's if you look at Central Station improvements, that's $15,600 is what the chief has requested, and
Not 56?
not 56. And the first time it was printed out, it was 156. So
So
she took the
40,000.
wrong. She took the first number instead of the last number off.
So it's supposed to be 15,600?
15,600. Well, that's what
Okay.
chief requested, is
All right.
$15,600. So,
That's fine.
yeah. Now, Townhouse Improvements includes $10,000 to put a mini split unit in at the townhouse. And while you were out of the room, Chip and I discussed that at $10,000, that ought to go as a separate article on the warrant, rather than just rolling it into the budget.
So the mini split was gonna replace the air conditioning and the
Yes.
pellet boiler?
No, it
was
serves as a
supplemental?
backup
Okay.
to the pellet boiler and replaces the
All right,
window air conditioner units.
so we take that out. and call
So
it a warrant.
that leaves that line at $500.
Okay,
And we talked about insulation in the highway garage,
I was privy to that.
which is $4,500. So, but I don't know if we add that 4,500 to the 15, or if we just make that 1545. We don't have an awful lot of information on that.
Yeah, let's make that line 4,500.
All right,
that's building maintenance.
highway building maintenance.
Okay,
Yeah.
45. Good.
Right.
Yep. Thank you.
And I had another question.
Yep.
Town office improvements, there's $2,000 more money there. Do you know what they're doing?
And again, that becomes a Jack question. Town office. I'm sorry. Town office improvements, 24, 25. I know we're up this year and we'll be up further because of the replacement of the siding. I don't know what he's got in there, if he's got anything in there. Is there anything in the detail that talks to that? So, I just do
Yeah, I don't see a detail in that.
some- right.
Um,
Well, a number of things come to mind that could be done.
Right.
Without him here, it's pretty tough.
So, and again, maybe Diane and/or Kathy can shed some light on why that is where it is.
Okay. When she comes in to bring that detail.
Yep. Good.
Thank you.
So we have some other questions, don't go around.
Sure.
Ready? Town office improvements,
Yeah.
do you have any detail on that? We budgeted 425 this year, and the request is for 2,425 next
There's not
year.
a print, there's nothing saying underneath it, huh?
I didn't
Jack.
find anything, huh?
Okay,
That's a
hang on.
Jack. Yeah,
It's a
is
Jack.
Jack just at the post office, or is he?
I think he's just at the post office.
All right, so,
Are we on docks and bridges?
we are on, docks and bridges.
We're back.
Yep. So,
So what is the 3394 for Mountainside Landscaping?
my guess is that's the repair at Melvin Wharf, ice damage.
So that's what drove it up.
Yep,
That was not an insurable event.
right. And,
So I don't know that we need to, I don't know that we need to change our estimations.
right,
Okay. Town office. Miscellaneous exterior rot, $2,000. I must be putting it aside. Remember when you did these? They
Yeah.
still gotta do the police windows. I don't know if they're gonna be done
So that's
today.
$2,000?
That's what it looks like here that she wrote down.
yep, all right.
And then she has down here cleaning and heating cooling units. Did you see that for 6,000?
The town office maintenance, that's what the 6,000 is,
Yes.
heating and cooling unit cleanings, okay.
I think it's under, not town office. That one I think
Town office
is under
maintenance.
townhouse maintenance.
town.
No, it does say
No,
town.
town office maintenance is $6,000.
Yeah, for cleaning and clean heat and cooling units, 700. Fire extinguishers, 200. Security, 600. Dollies cleaning, so that's just trying to find where the unit is. There was one that he was adding a unit to. Oh, here it is. Townhouse Improvements.
Right,
If you see, that's 10,500. It's because Jack wants to add a cooling and heating unit up at the townhouse.
right, and that
That's 10,000.
$10,000 unit will be an article on the
Oh,
warrant.
so you don't want it on there,
So
so
we're
take
we're
that.
already backing that out,
Okay,
right?
yeah, okay.
So the other thing, and the central fire station improvements that was wrong the first time is still wrong.
Why, I thought you said 56. I
15
didn't look at it.
15,600.
Oh, okay. I'll go in and fix it. I thought you said 56. I didn't have the paperwork in front of me. so-
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
15,600.
We'll fix that. 15,600. All right. I can go in and fix that.
So 121, 708. Plus 45.
10 office. She has down there $2,000.
141, 808 is what I got.
What do you get, 141,808?
Yeah, did you get it?
I haven't done it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see if we come up close. So that's,
Yeah. Fix it 10 times. Huh? Do you need to know about anything particular? Because I can ask Diane. I'm only going by her little notes all over.
And we're changing the highway maintenance number.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Highway building maintenance is gonna not be $1,500, it's gonna be $4,500.
Oh, you backed it out again?
No, we put it up.
Oh, you
So-
put it up.
so we're
Oh, you
adding,
want 45.
we're adding insulation work to the highway
You
building.
can put a note under that that it's
What it gonna
insulation.
be insulation for you, sure.
All right. All right. So what else did you change? I only have 3 changes that we made on here.
Okay, I've got 10,000 off of the townhouse improvements.
Right.
Yeah, that goes $500, right?
$4,500 on the highway building.
That's
Right.
That's a plus.
Right.
15,600 on the fire department improvements.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a net change of a reduction of 47,400 if my numbers are correct. So if you take,
No, your numbers aren't correct.
well, I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, no, go ahead. What did you come up with?
Well, I haven't gotten there yet. I'm just, but if I take $47,400 off of 187,708, then we end up at $140,308. So, and you're at 141,808. So there's $1,500 in there that you have that I
Oh,
don't have.
I didn't subtract. the
So
15.
what you did is you
I didn't
you-
subtract the 15. I
You
added-
plus it up to 6,000
Right.
on the highway. So I would only say that, and I'm fine with that,
No, I'm fine with not, I'm
Well-
fine at 4,500.
All right, but here's the thing, if we're gonna spend $4,500 on the insulation,
Yeah.
then we're spending nothing on other maintenance. Or we're budgeting nothing on other maintenance up there. And the maintenance cost has ranged over, but, you know, it's 4,900, 6,400, 6,600, 2,000, 1,500, and this year it's at 3,800. So I think leaving $1,500 for other stuff in there is not a bad idea.
Okay, so you wanna make that 6,000?
Yep.
So that's a $4,000.
So what that does is that puts you at 141,808, which is the number you came up with.
So that line item, highway building maintenance is gonna change to 6,000.
Mhm.
Okay.
So that's a 2.4% increase in that budget. So, all right, so we got the line item changes, right? So the townhouse improvements goes from 10,500 to 500. Highway building maintenance goes from 1,500 to 6,000. And central fire department improvements goes from 56,000 to 15,600. And that, by the way, only 2 of those are ours. So the 15,600
Yeah.
needs to get changed into department head. The other ones are
Yeah,
changed at selectmen's request for a total of 141,808. Are we good?
I believe so. I'd make the motion that we approve general government buildings budget, and the number would be $141,808.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, gentlemen. All right,
Docks and bridges,
so
or highways.
what's your pleasure on docks and bridges?
okay.
Well, it's been all over the map, and I don't know what the additional costs are, but I'm gonna say 19 Mile Bay is, or 19 Mile Pier is gonna go 100% into a warrant article.
Yep.
And do we have anything at Melvin River that we wanna do?
We have an article this year on the warrant for Melvin River design stuff. I think it's too early to put something on the warrant to do design work at Melvin Wharf at this point. I mean, let's get the projects going. I don't know if there's any permitting expense on that to do, and the piece that I don't know is if Jack has any other sort of maintenance stuff. I mean, some years he'll need new bubblers at the at the docks. He did some electrical work at one that was some maintenance. So when you look
Do you
at
wanna
the,
hold off until Jack can?
yeah, I think it makes sense to have him weigh in on that.
We can.
Because most of the expense, well, so we have a base level of expense every year in docks and bridges, doing things like paying to have the grounds maintenance done, paying the electric, that sort of thing. And then we have repair work, and then we have permitting stuff, so let's hold off on that. All right. Anything else on budgets for today? All right, let's see. Let's go to this big binder here. And this, I believe, is the tax collector's warrant for 2021. So this is for a total of $6,396,107. and this is, we sign this and allows the tax collector to issue tax bills and collect money so we can pay our bills.
I'll make a motion that we sign the tax warrant.
Second that?
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
You go.
All right. Good, now Jackie can get busy. As it relates to the taxes, of course, we approved the tax rate on Friday, and we are up 52 cents from last year, but that's because the school is up 58 cents from last year. As I went back and looked several years back, so we are at $10.08 this year. In 2019, 2 years ago, we were at $10.11. The year before that, we were $11.18. So going back to 5 years ago, we were at $10.43. So one of the things that's happened is reval, which changes the calculus a little bit, but we've done a reasonable job at keeping stuff
Doesn't change
from going
the
out of.
expenses.
Huh? No, it does change the expense.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
think that, our job's always gotta be to stay somewhere in the moderate range. I mean, we're gonna run into some increases now that we have been lucky to avoid.
yep,
But I think, are we going into that? I've been trying to pencil out where we are. Your calculation is that we're at 5.6% ahead of last year in the operating budget.
well,
And-
the budgets that we approved through Monday
Right.
were 5.6% total more than those same budgets last year,
Right.
right? The one we did today, we'll take that down a little bit because it's a lesser percentage. Anyway,
Yeah.
so my guess is that we're gonna, when it's all said and done, we're gonna be in the neighborhood of where we're at now, 5.5%. Some of the stuff we're gonna be dealing with are big numbers and are not gonna be flat. Stuff like
Yeah, I was
personal
looking at
administration.
I spent a little time on the warrant, and we did a $1,090,897 that actually was raised from taxes on the
Mhm.
warrant last year. And if we know that there are givens, the fire truck, we have to make the payment, the $5,000 contingency we put in there. We got the pavement at 400,000.
Yes.
Mhm.
And 100,000. And I've got the highway department's dump truck in at 225,000. And, not 235,000. And 19 Mile Pier at 245,000. And if we add to that, capital reserve fund for $25,000 for a loader for the transfer station. And this is just a notion of mine, a $50,000 capital reserve for the police department for hiring officers. And just make it non-lapsing, and just that expense that he keeps pounding us on,
Mhm.
put it into a capital reserve, if you will. Now, when it happens, we spend it out of there as opposed to trying to juggle this. At any rate,
Actually, it would be an expendable fund, but, yeah, right, right.
so that would put us at $1,117,625, which is $83,000 ahead of last year. And that's just, back of the napkin thing.
Yep.
But I think if we can keep our warrant somewhere within the range of last year. We're also gonna probably have to raise some money for the police department.
I
Finish that off.
think there's gonna be an additional amount of money we need to,
Yeah.
so, which we're kind of wandering around, but reminds me, did you talk to the Municipal Association, Cami, about grant writers?
I emailed them.
Okay, have heard
Have
nothing?
not heard.
All right, so, and I'm particularly feel that we're sort of out of our depth at this point as it relates to all this federal grant money that's,
It's gonna happen.
well, the stuff that's already happened, but, you know, what's usable for what.
Yeah, they just added another however many billions to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
infrastructure.
infrastructure bill, that's right. And so all of this stuff, some of that we're gonna be able to apply to stuff that we need to do and offset some of the taxpayer expense. But I don't think anybody knows an awful lot about this at this point, and I'm sensitive to the fact that we need to get plugged into where the conversation is going so that we have a good idea of where we can target using these dollars.
Yeah, yeah, because this, I mean, my presumption is we're not in a debt creation posture at all. We're just trying to fit our needs into an operating budget on Warrant.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I mean, we have, how many more years do we have on the fire station? And that's call it $180,000 a year. And principal and interest is this year's 180,000.
Oh, so we're $40,000 ahead of the game from my numbers. I was just using last year's number. I thought that's.
Oh, well, and the number for 2022 is gonna be lower than that too. Anyway.
177,
Yeah.
come to CIP.
Yeah, so, but
When it's 50 grand.
so once that particular obligation sunsets, in my mind, is an ideal time to make sure that money that was going in there goes into capital reserve for new fire apparatus or whatever, these big purchases, so we can smooth it out. I mean, it's an ongoing obligation year after year that once it sunsets, you can put on something else that will then keep us from having to kick people for more money.
Yeah, it's too easy, and probably when that ends, you and I won't be here, but
In 2027? Yeah.
we'll still be alive, but whether or not we'll still be selectmen.
Right,
The problem is you get people that say, oh, we got a $200,000 windfall, we can reduce the taxes by 20 cents. And that just kills it at that point.
well, the problem with that is then you get down the road to where we were 15 years ago, and you need to buy a piece of apparatus and you don't have any money. And then you either say, all right, well, now we gotta take a huge bite in 1 year. Anyway, I'm wandering around, but.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that starting at least 1 or 2 capital reserves this coming year would be.
Absolutely.
Well, even if we can't put much money in them,
Right.
getting them started gets people thinking in that direction.
Right,
And,
and it's gotta be.
yeah,
10 grand doesn't sound like a lot of money when you do a capital reserve fund, but it opens it, and
Right.
now you
Right.
can say something, you know, it's like,
right.
right, yeah.
All right, so let's go to correspondence, blow through this stuff together.
You only have 7 minutes, everybody. Don't you have to be out of here by 11?
11:30.
Oh.
So, yeah, so we have more
I'll
time.
go back to sleep then.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
Take a nap.
All right, email on the Pier 19 crosswalk, the planning board chairman and the condo owners and the store have been working on. I haven't seen the specific paperwork as it relates to the agreement, but they have come up with a design and somebody that will do the construction, and it looks like it's if not approved, is pretty close to being approved by the state. My understanding is that the cost of construction is going to be paid for by the store and/or the condo owners. But there will have to be a maintenance agreement that is between, I believe, between the town and the state, not between the private owner and the state. And so what that entails, we'll have to wait and see, and where the funding for that is gonna, the expectation of the maintenance funding, we'll see when it comes together. Town bond counsel services. It's somebody who is offering their services to us as bond counsel. Don't believe we're gonna need that this year.
He's a good guy. He's a great guy. But we
Yeah.
don't need him.
Letter of appreciation to Chief Shigori for his assistance with the 186th Police Academy session. Certificate of training for Chief Shigori on defensive use of AR-15 type rifle. That'd be interesting. Notice of public hearing by the town of Pittsfield for telecommunication services, wireless tower.
Can you see Pittsfield from top?
So it says required notice to towns and cities within a 20-mile radius of the proposed facility. So apparently some part of Tuftonboro is within 20 miles of where this tower's going in.
I didn't think it was that close.
Yeah, and the public hearing was Thursday, November 4th, so that's not much help. Yeah, we did. Probably came in early last week. Minutes from the Carroll County Commissioners meeting. Agenda for a meeting. Certificate of instruction on confidential materials, including hard drives from mobile shredding and document management. Course completion for James Hathcock. Dredge and fill wetlands permit for, what the heck is it? Winona Shores Road, that's the agent. Hidden Valley Drive in Tuftonboro, 69217. Remove existing seasonal dock. Construct new 3-boat seasonal dock. All right. Email from CIP wanting to know if we're available on the 7th of December for report presentation. So this,
Change that.
So that's in the evening on the 7th?
so that's the normal budget committee meeting date. So this is, yeah, so whenever budget committee meetings, I guess it would be at the beginning of their meeting for the CIP
So
presentation.
we have a budget committee meeting tomorrow,
Yeah,
but we're in November.
Okay.
so December 7th work for you?
I'll be there with CIP,
Yep,
and I guess I'll be there with the Selectmen.
yep, all right. Email from Matt Young regarding an agreement with the site plan for the tower behind the fire station, 189 Middle Road. Okay, so we have to agree with this site plan as the property owner before it gets signed off on by the planning board, I guess. I haven't had a chance to look it over. I guess I would rely on our code enforcement officer's input as much as Anything else?
So this is the fire department one? Looks like it.
Yep. So I would say if we want to take some time to look it over, we can. I don't know that we have to act on it today.
I'm just curious, have we ever delineated a plot that the fire department sits on versus what the rest of it is Central Park? I don't know if we've ever done any surveying or anything. I don't know.
It was never subdivided,
Okay,
Right.
just curious.
so.
I don't think it really is a big deal. Just-
Yeah, and I guess if we should get Adam a copy of this and have him go over it, and Jack.
Yeah.
because
And then we'll.
They'll be able to look at the original lease agreement, which had the plot plan in it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but it looks about the same.
So we have a memo from Transportation Supervisor regarding brush disposal. Says in the past, yard refuse area and small yard brush area has been used for household residential users. This year, we are seeing a monumental increase of commercial users. Landscapers, handymen with large dump trailers, etc., filled with brush. These folks come here and dump their large loads of brush because they avoid the cost of the private stump dump fee, which can be anywhere between $35 and $100 per load. My recommendation to the board would be to increase the rate for the acceptance of brush from commercial haulers and oversized construction trailers to the rate of $40 per load. So, is that change in fee structure something that needs to be noticed before we deal with it?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
What's your thoughts?
Do it.
I think if it's not affecting the general population, I don't know that we need to notice
Right.
it, it's just affecting contractors.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve that change in the
That's it.
typical fees.
That's me.
All right. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right. Selectmen's update. Chip?
I think I've got everything updated as we went along, but I'm meeting with the budget committee tomorrow in the evening. I try to remember every step we do along the way, but if any are bored and there's no baseball game on or something, you can come by and sit in the audience and correct me when I make a mistake.
I'll do my best to be there. How's that? See what happens.
The only other thing I wanted to talk about was getting Tyler and whomever it is that he wants to bring along to do the site visit at the pier.
Yep.
So, I mean, the weather's nice, so I'd like to ask Cammy to give Tyler Phillips a call, see how he's
Yep.
coming along with that.
That's good. I reached out to him last week and got his voicemail, left him a message and haven't heard anything back. So yeah, call him, Tyler, tell him we're ready to rock and roll.
Okay.
Which is basically what I left in my message. But, so,
Get it done before snow and ice.
yeah,
Well, everything's real visible.
Yeah, so we can foresee we have two big projects going next year.
yeah. And how about you, guys? You got anything?
Other than having the CIP, the proposed so far CIP information available, no, I have not. Oh, I'm sorry. Multiple complaints about Spectrum. everybody's been having trouble with it. It's been getting worse. And they're all aware that we're stuck with what we have at the moment anyway. I'd really like to think that we could, as selectmen, could do something about it, but I'm not sure that there is anything we can.
Well, the next time you have a bona fide resident complaining, mention that we're looking for volunteers for the broadband.
Right.
Very good. I'll
Yeah.
try to remember, I'll write that down.
Yeah, and,
Yep.
and we had another correspondence from the broadband committee saying, we're looking for your representatives, so we haven't had anybody step forward, have we, Cammy? I know we put the word out. So, as is true with lots of things, I think it's a matter of seeing somebody that looks like a reasonable candidate and asking them if they would step up.
They're aware enough to be complaining.
Yep,
Let's see if they're
Unless
serious
there's
enough.
something better out there.
yep.
Sounds good.
All right. The only thing I have is we had planning board on Thursday night. We approved a 2-lot subdivision on the backside of Winter Harbor Basin. Guy owns a parcel that has, let's say, like 20-some acres running around, and he's separated out one lot that he's gonna sell off to somebody to build, and then he's gonna build his piece on the other behind that. And it was pretty straightforward. Neighbors were there. I think everybody's up to speed. We were out of there in an hour. Everybody was happy. Diane's first planning board meeting, she seemed to be happy, so.
So she started her process.
I haven't talked with her anymore about it, but yes, she was there Thursday night, and she and Leanne were talking at least about training schedule. I will stop and mention to her that make sure she gets a list of resources that she can be working on her own as well. All right. Do we have any other business?
Not that I know of. How's that?
Other than Jack is back and you had left some things hanging that you were going to ask him.
Yeah, well, we're not gonna review docks and bridges and other highways at our next meeting,
Right.
Oh, okay.
so.
Yep. Yep. Gather a little more information in the meantime. All right.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Yes, I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.